Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome to the podcast, and thank you. I've been doing too many of these, and sometimes I don't have my sound on, and then I got to reshoot, and I don't like to do that. All right, this is just from the hip. So I hope everybody had a good weekend. Last couple of days have just been booming for crypto. And that's it, man. I don't think we could have asked for a better start to 2023 than we have now. My side project, and that means migrating the entire show over to a cash network or in a decentralized fashion. It's still not happening. The program works fine, cash works fine, and when my internet works, it works wonderfully. But I just can't seem to get it across to them. And I'll tell you what, you want to see an exercise in frustration. Try spending the last 3 years of your life doing 3 and 4 live streams every week. It becomes part of your life. And then suddenly you can't because your internet sucks. So I'll tell you what, we don't have a lot of folks on here. But if anybody works for Mediacom, and you have a different number, I would love to know what that number is. Scott at ThePodocasts.com. You keep going through the same routine. You call the 800 number. Well, we'll send a tech. Great. The tech will be here sometime between Tuesday and 2025. And you got to be home. But that's fine. I'm cool with that. But then the tech will get here. They'll plug in and say, yeah, man, the problem's not here at your house. It's up the road. Great. All right. So we at least have identified the part of the world where the problem is. So what's the next step? And the next step is I'm going to push it up and escalate it, and then nothing happens. So 2 weeks later, we call back and, well, no, frustrating. I wish I was pushing this video on a cache right now just so I could curse, because I think there's a time and a place for that. So anyway, until we get that sorted out, man, we're stuck here on YouTube. There won't be any live streams. I'm at my wit's end, and it's frustrating because I have money. And when I'm waving money around at them and saying, hey, look, I'll pay whatever, just make it work. And whatever it costs, I don't care. And they said, well, no, we'll send a tech. I mean, it's so frustrating. I understand why South Park parodies the cable company so much, because this is what you got. You're kind of stuck. So Bitcoin's holding. That's we know this. It's pretty clear. We can all see it, which is causing pretty much everything else to hold nicely. You guys see the numbers over there. Those are good numbers. Like to see all that. Life is good. So I'm making a little bit of a mistake in the fact that I own way too much Jackal, and so I buying the hell out of it at 10 cents. I mean, I was just gushing money into that. I made videos. I even recommended. I said, hey, if you're looking for something, consider Jackal. And I mean, that's it. That's my silent portion of my show. I'll just point right there. I'm sure you understand where I'm getting at. But you still got to diversify. Now, there's lots of products that I'm pretty much into, but I'm never going to get the farmer out of myself. It's just not going to happen. I understand, everybody, farming's dead, it doesn't work, you're going to just lose your ass. And that was true in 2022, but this is a new year. And just because it didn't work out doesn't mean it won't work. So, I'm profitable on damn near everything so far this year. So let's revisit those waters. And interestingly, those waters landed me back in 2 different places. The first is Crescent, and we'll a lot of good farms over here. There's some that have been really interesting. The neatest one for me is right there is Luna, because I've had this stuff just sitting there doing nothing. I've had all the Luna from the airdrop, the UST fiasco, but I've had all that Luna just sitting there, and I haven't had anything to do with it. So it's been on a nice little run lately. Let's pull it up. It's had a nice little run lately. I mean, over the last 30 days, everybody likes to see that. I mean, the damn thing's closing in on a 2x, and that's great. But I need to be able to earn on top of that, because I'm not just going to go and dump tokens if nobody knows the future. So that being the case, then I'm going to put this money to work. Now, I've always liked Crescent. I've been talking up Crescent for as long as there's been a Crescent, so I've always been a fan of this thing. But the fact that I can put my Luna to work over here is good for me because again, it's just been sitting there idling, doing nothing. I didn't push a lot in, but we pushed enough to keep it interesting. So the APR is just booming. It's paid out. You highlight over this, and it'll tell you where it is, what you pay out, your daily rewards, all that other good stuff. It's paid in straight Crescent. That works well for me. It's very very easy to liquidate the Crescent if I want to. I can sit right here and swap it into Atom and pull it off, or I can reinvigorate the pool. I can do whatever I want with it, but uh, I it's so heavily incentivized. This pool is monstrously incentivized right now, and I like that. I like being able to do that. Like I said, it's not a huge earner. What do we get? $68 per $10,000 in there daily. So it's not a monstrous earner, but at 250 and the fact that I can pull liquidity on this pool anytime I want, there's no lock-in period. I'm not baked in. I can do my thing as I want to do my thing. I like that. I consider that very important in a DEX now, at least one that I'm putting big money into, that I'd be able to pull out of it any damn time I want. I don't want 14-day lock-ins. I don't want any of that. So if you're going to offer me a service that hits my wickets, I'm going to take advantage of it. And like I said, I'm not making a fortune, but I want to, wet my beak a little bit, see how it's going before I fully commit. Just thought I would tell you guys about it. Another good pool, Injective Bcree. That one's a nice solid one if you like the. A lot of people ask me about Injective. The only downside to any of these things right now is, of course, the Bcree because it's just the liquid form of Crescent. Crescent's been it's been meh. That's yeah. I'll make a sound effect for that. How's Crescent doing? Meh. But that's liquidity on their decks. Everything's gonna be pairing up with Bcree as much as possible. They also started moving a lot of the IST over here. Now I'm not sold on that, but for smaller amounts, and for me, smaller amounts, anything under 10 grand, I'm willing to take a swing at it because I do like earning. I want to try to pair up with the stablest of tokens that I can find. So that pool right there is very, very interesting to me. And I'll keep coming back to it. I have to go full screen for just this is what we have to do if I can't do live streams, guys. This is it. This is what I got. So one of the other ones, this on the my little wallet. I actually knocked it out of the park with Orai. I mean, I absolutely pummeled this one. Buying this stuff up at I mean, rock bottom. Not even rock bottom prices, because the funny thing about this particular one, and you can give me the business, man. I'm fine with it. I know this isn't for everybody, but oh wow, look at it go. The funny thing about this one is, well, I mean, it's a bad comparison right now because this little pump here, but like from right here, so from June all the way over to January, so almost the whole year, that thing more or less held its price. I mean, it wobbled a little bit, but not terribly. But when you look at that token and then you look at some of the pools that are available over here on Ridex, if you're a farmer like I am, these it's very incentivizing. I mean, it's a circular firing squad, so it seems like they're just taking liquidity out of their own liquidity pools and re-incentivizing the pools with it. So this seems to be what they're doing. They're making a living. Yeah, because I mean it's not a big dex. There's not a ton of lock value. But yeah, I mean, they've been steady with it. So the fact that that token exploded is just a bonus to me. But I've been sitting here buried into this one for a good long while. That's Uriah Adam. And when they both take a good move like that, it works out. So APR, very, very nice. I can liquidate the tokens right here. I just swap the Uriah for Adam, pull the Adam off, and I go about my business. But again, it's the farmer in me, man. I just can't get out of that. But I don't farm because I expect these tokens to explode. Ideally they stay flat. I mean that's where you want it. But you have to be able to explain the APR. You have to be able to explain the token and explain what's actually going on with this stuff. So, like over on Crescent, it's the more customers they get, the more people they use or using their order books, the more value capture they get. And Orai Dex are the same thing. But this one, it's such an oddball, man. It is just such an oddball. It's a small DEX. There's not a lot of TVL on it, but they've managed to maintain their token price aside from this, recent goodness. But they've managed to maintain their token price and maintain those APRs at the same time. It is the only way I can explain it is a circular firing squad. They are taking liquidity out and they are re-incentivizing the pools. That's the only thing I can figure out on this one. But same thing. I mean, I can pull it immediately. I can pull my liquidity anytime I want, out, move on, and it's been great. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to continue to push into these. I'm taking out 20% every day. That just goes to cash, man. That's just prudent. But I've been pulling this stuff every day. I've been pushing back into the pools and taking 20% off the top for the USDC. And, I'll keep doing it as long as they will keep letting me, because that is my liquid cash for me to buy up whatever I want or wait for this imminent, crush that we all seem to think, or at least most of the talking heads seem to think is coming. I don't know. I cannot predict the future. I know typically anything that goes up that fast is going to come down that fast. So who knows? But until then, look, man, I've never stopped farming. I'm not going to change my mind. I will continue to farm as long as I can explain the who, what, when, where, why, and how. Arai is my oddball because I cannot explain it. But as long as I can liquidate my money and pull it off whenever I want, I could throw 75 grand on there and just see how it works out. So it has been, and you know what? Yay for me. Scott's a genius. But, sometimes you need some help from the market, and we seem to be getting it right now. Anyway, questions or comments, Scott at ThePodocasts.com. I answer any and all. I'm sorry this should all have been done in a live stream version, but we can't do live stream, so this is the best we can do. Until next time, guys, please stay safe. Please be smart with your money. Cheers.